Hello there and welcome to episode 3 of my time in Kyrgyzstan.
Good morning, everyone. It's about 7:45 here in Karakol, and I'm about to set off on a 7-hour drive to Son-Kul Lake for a night in a yurt. So I better get a move on.
As you've just heard, I was off to Son-Kul Lake. It's about 5 to 6 hours south of the capital, Bishkek. But as you may know, I was coming from Karakol in the east. It was another blistering hot day as I travelled along the south side of Scenic Lake. Thankfully, the road on this side of the lake was much better than the north. There were still parts having work done to them, but nothing like the mess I experienced on the way to Karakol. Just stopped off for some lunch at the side of the road. Picked up a few pieces from the little shop there. See, it's very rocky out here. Not a lot going on. I've driven for 4 hours already. I've got over 3 hours left. Oh god. 3 hours left? Turned out to be a bit more than that. Once you turn off the main road, you go through a small village which you can just see in the distance there, then follow the small river along a dirt track that eventually leads you up a mountain. Now that car over there is just pushing through the herd and I'm just waiting. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give you time, and yeah, I'm not trying to drive through that. Absolutely not. The herd passed, I started my ascent up the mountain. Plenty of horses roaming about, and there will be plenty more on show in this video, as well as some shaggy mountain cows. Look at that. That is a massive chunk of ice. Ice. Ridiculous. By now I was on the other side of the mountain, although the descent to this open plain was nowhere near as steep as the way up. Right, I think if you can make that out, is Son-Kul in the distance, just below the mountains. I think I can finally see it after all this time. Okay, so I don't think that was Son-Kul I could see in the distance, but look at this. I'm just in the middle of like a massive open plain. That dirt track there is an approved road on Google Maps and Yandex apparently. Just in the middle of a plain. Just driving through it. Wow, there's the lake. I've still got 25 minutes to drive that way. So yeah, there it was in all its glory, Son-Kul Lake. There are a lot of yurt camps around the lake, and at many points on this drive I'd wish that I had booked one a bit closer to where the long old dirt track starts. But had I done that, I wouldn't have seen as much of this incredible scenery, so it was worth it in the end. Horses grazing against the backdrop of the lake and mountains, possibly my favourite view of this entire trip. I finally made it. Let's go check out my yurt. Here we go. So this is it. That's my bed for the night. And I'll be looking up at the stars. Let's try the bed, shall we? Yeah, it's actually really comfy. Pretty decent, so we'll see how it holds up when it hits night time. I'm expecting the temperature to drop quite a bit. So that's the yurt camp. Now over here, ooh, got the lake. Lake and horses. I'd say it's a pretty good spot for some reading and a beer. It was very peaceful, and just what I needed after such a long drive. It ended up taking me the best part of 10 hours to get here from Karakol, but it more than lived up to my expectations. I couldn't justify missing it out from my itinerary. The larger yurt was for dinner, and like with the guest houses I'd been staying in, it was a set menu. I think I was having beshbemek again, but not 100% sure. What an incredible setting for dinner, with my meal costing less than £10. Although, for some reason, none of the other guests are eating there. Well, their loss. It's just me in here, no one else. Dinner for one. If you're ever planning a trip to Kyrgyzstan and fancy visiting Son-Kul, Rahat is the name of this camp. With the sun setting, it was time to crawl into my bed for the night, and drift asleep with only the sound of nature for company. The next morning I awoke to more of the same, which in this setting was exactly what I wanted. The horses already up and about, making their way to wherever they were going. A quick hello to another four-legged friend before I set off. I wish I could stay for longer, but I have a long day, another long day of driving to get myself to Bishkek, so I'd say get myself on the road, but it won't be the road technically for a while. Yeah, let's get going. Because of how far around the lake I was, it would be around 3 hours until I made it back to the main road. But all of that time was spent taking in the ridiculous beauty of this place. I gave myself more time to stop and just appreciate it all, especially knowing that there's a high chance I'll never visit here again. If I do find myself here again, however, I'll do my best to make sure it's for at least 2 nights rather than just the one. I know I keep saying it, but look at that. Just stepped in that. Whoops. Look how clear the water is. Just... wow. A big herd going for a drink there? I was worried they were coming towards me. Oh, they were. Oh, they're coming down here. Hello, sheep. And goats and things. Yep. Round the car they go. Hello. As you can see, you don't have to stay in a yurt. You can also do regular camping if you want. I really didn't want to leave, but sadly I had to. The shepherds were very polite. Like in the UK where you raise your hand to say thank you for someone letting you through when driving, that was the case here between myself and the men on horseback moving their flocks. A bit of shaky cam? It's not an action film, mate. More horses, more cows, more tremendous landscapes as I got nearer to the mountain. If seeing all of this isn't making you think, yeah, I want to go there too, then honestly, I think there's something wrong with you. Okay, so I've finished the kind of the route around Son-Kul, and now I just got to head back up and down the mountain. I'm about halfway down the mountain. Still got a fair chunk to go though. Man, this is a long drive. Stunning though. Get off my hand fly. So, I am almost out of the valley, but I've stopped off just to have a quick bit of lunch, which is essentially going to be a crisp bap, but you know, is what it is. There we have it, a makeshift crisp sandwich with these faux Pringles, crab flavoured. Ooh, yummy! Right, so that's it. I'm back at the main road. Time to put Bishkek, well, my hotel, into the sat-nav and get on with it. So that's it for this video about Son-Kul. The next one will be about Bishkek and the surrounding areas. So have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.